Hi guys, and welcome to another video. I just want to make one or two quick little videos today because I'm feeling kind of okay right now. And I finished my essay and I finished almost all of the reading for next week, so I figured today is a good day to make a video. But it's gonna have to be a little bit quick because I really want to decorate our house for Christmas. We still haven't decorated because in the Netherlands you kind of have to wait until after the 5th of December because that's when we celebrate, fear is the Dutch word. That's when we celebrate Sinterklaas, which is basically where Santa Claus came from. Anyway, and you can't really decorate Christmas before you had that little celebration, so yeah, we're gonna decorate today and tomorrow and the whole weekend, so I'm really excited for that. So anyway, I figured I would do the rapid fire book tag. I have the questions here on my phone. Look at my bookcase. Words are difficult today. My phone case with little books on it and a Hedwig, and it's so cute. So this tag is a little bit old. It's from June and it's by, who is this? Girl Reading, and I just thought that would be fun to do it. So basically there are a few questions and you're not supposed to think about it too much and just answer them. So that's what I'm gonna do. Question number 1, ebook or physical book? Definitely physical book. I love having something in my hands when I read it. I love turning the page. I love the smell of books. I love how they look. Someone's at the door. Okay, my dad got it. He's running downstairs right now. I hope they didn't leave yet. Anyway, yeah, I love everything about physical copies. Ebooks are great for when you're traveling, but that's about it for me. I really want to keep them. So I always hated when people just bring out ebooks for short stories or something and never bring it out in like a physical copy. I don't like that. Paperback or hardback? I think maybe paperback. Most of my books are actually paperback and I find them really easy to read, especially like you have those few paperbacks that are like really floppy, I guess, and they just read so nicely. But I love the way hard copies look, and sometimes they also read really nice, so I don't know, it's probably a tie. Online or in-store book shopping? Because I'm from the Netherlands, I prefer online shopping because I can actually get books there, but if I'm in the UK I prefer in bookstore shopping because you can always find like new gems, and I don't know, I love bookshops so much, and I feel like even though they might be like £1 or £2 more than when you buy them on Amazon or something, I think it's worth it for the whole experience and to just support your local bookstore. But yeah, our local bookstore in the Netherlands has like one closet of books and they're like 3 times as much as when I buy them online, so I hardly ever buy a book there. I'm so sorry, but it's too much difference, the money. But I do sometimes go to Waterstones or the American Book Center in Amsterdam, and I do love buying books there. They're also pretty expensive, but sometimes I just allow myself to spend a little bit more money and buy books there. Okay, next question. Trilogies or series? I honestly don't mind. There isn't that much difference, is there? Like, okay, trilogy is always 3 books and series can be anything from 2 books or more, I guess. I love series. If it's a really good series, then I just want to read more and more, so the more books the merrier. But yeah, I don't really care. Yeah, I don't. Heroes or villains? I usually probably villains, because I do in books especially relate to the no, not villains. Did I say probably villains? Probably heroes, because in books I relate to heroes most, but sometimes the villains are hilarious, and in especially in movies the villain is usually pretty handsome and, you know, like evil in a really amusing way. So in movies I usually root for both the heroes but also for the villains, and in books probably just the heroes. Book you want everyone to read and you can't really think about it. Mistborn, I guess? Anything by Brandon Sanderson? Oh, A Way of Kings. Is that the first one? Let me just check. Yes, A Way of Kings. Stormlight Archive series by Brandon Sanderson. One of the best books I've ever read in my life. And it's really thick. really thick epic fantasy, so it's a commitment. And part 2 is out as well. I think it's even thicker, and part 3 isn't out yet, so you might wanna wait so you don't have to reread those monstrosities again. But that wouldn't be punishment because they're so good that I'm gonna reread them again when part 3 comes out. You should read that. Brandon Sanderson. Recommend an underrated book. I'm looking around my bookshelves if you haven't noticed yet. I guess like all the books by Diane Wynne Jones, like they're not really underrated, but I feel like not a lot of people know them. They're adorable, they're so cute. I just happened to see a few of her books there. There are probably more, but that I could recommend. But yeah, I love her books, especially like if you like anime, you probably know Howl's Moving Castle. It was based on a book that she wrote, and all her books are just sweet and funny and filled with magic, and they're wonderful. The last book you finished. The last book I finished. Found it. It's this one. An Accident of Stars by Fuss Meadows. I talked about this a little bit in my book haul video, my last book haul video. Wondering if it was a really good book, and I would be like really pleasantly surprised, and I was. It's amazing that you care so much about the characters, and there are quite a lot of characters, so that's really well done. And the world building is amazing, like their politics and their magic rules and like all the races and traditions and everything is really well done. And yeah, I definitely recommend this book. I'm probably gonna make a separate video about it, maybe. Tell me if you want me to make a separate video reviewing this book. The last book you bought. The last books I bought actually was like from my November haul. I went to the ABC because they had discount, and I bought this book amongst others. But technically I just ordered a few books online. I ordered The Girl Who Saved Christmas, I think, by Matt Haig. I'm not sure if that's the title. I ordered the Murder Most Unladylike series, the 5th book, which is also Christmas themed. Forgot the title, something with murder and mistletoe. And I also ordered the newest book by Tom Fletcher about the Christmas dinosaur. So yeah, I was in the mood for Christmas reads, realized I hadn't bought a new Christmas book yet this year, so I bought those just now online on Amazon, because again, you can't get them here. So yes, I hope they come in time for Christmas. Weirdest thing you've used as a bookmark? Basically anything, like pens, remotes, a plush toy, my hairbrush probably, a pen. I think I've used an item of clothing once, a blankie, like just a bit of a blankie. I've asked my parents to just like, hold your finger here, and then I just give them the book and get something I want to get, so I don't forget the page. I use scraps of paper. Yeah, I think just anything I can get my hands off that can fit in between the book. But if I really stop reading, it's usually a scrap of paper or an actual bookmark, or I just remember the page. Yeah. I actually collect bookmarks, but still I can never find them when I need them, so I have a problem. Used books, yes or no? Yes, because they're really cheap. Sometimes they just feel loved already, and it just, I don't know, I like used books. Some of them are gross and disgusting and look really old, and I wouldn't, like, bad old, I wouldn't buy those. But I've bought some real gems in charity shops in the UK, like really pretty old hardcovers, and just books that I really want to read but didn't have the money for, or kind of want to read but didn't want to buy. Like, I want to read it but not that badly that I want to buy it over all the other books that I still want to buy. So yeah, definitely yes, but I prefer them new. But I do also buy and like used books. Top 3 favorite genres. Fantasy, definitely. Dystopia slash sci-fi. I feel like they kind of belong together. Mostly dystopia though. And I never used to read anything else basically, but maybe like a few like not really fancy but a bit historical, but mostly I just read fantasy books and maybe some sci-fi, and that was it. But lately I've also really loved just contemporary, sweet, usually romance books, just usually young adult books that aren't specifically fancy, basically. Borrow or buy? Definitely buy. I sometimes borrow a book because I don't have the money to buy it yet myself, or because it's a book that I usually it's like non-fiction or something like that. But yeah, I don't really like borrowing books, even though I'm really careful with them. I did once destroy a book that I borrowed. Luckily my friend didn't mind at all, and then she like lent a few other people, so it got really destroyed. But it was an accident, but I felt so bad. And yeah, I prefer to have them anyway. I'm super materialistic. I want them on my wall displayed. I want them to be mine. So bye. Characters or plot? I think the characters are probably the most important part of a story, because you can have a story where not much happens, but if the characters are super interesting, you'll still read them. A good example of this is the readers of Broken Wheel recommend. I read it, like I devoured that book, but not that much happens. Like of course stuff happens, but it's kind of like a really calm, quiet plot. But still, like, I had to keep reading it, and I think that's because of the characters. Yeah, the plot can be amazing, but if the characters are flat, it's gonna be a terrible book. Long or short books? Overall, long. I love long books. I never want them to end. But sometimes I'm really in the mood for like something short and sweet. So I like both, but if I had to choose long, because I never want stories to end. Long or short chapters? A little bit in between, because sometimes you have these chapters that are so short that it starts to annoy me, and it just seems really arbitrary where they stop their chapter sometimes in the middle of a scene. Like I've had that happen in books before. Sometimes it works, like in Dan Brown books the short chapters really work, but if a chapter is like 6,000 years long, then yeah, it has to be in between, like not too short but not too long. The Goldilocks chapter. Name the first 3 books you think of. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, Throne of Glass? I don't know. Oh, Throne of Glass. I just saw a video where someone was talking about Throne of Glass. Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings. Oh, my favorite, my babies. So, yes. Books that make you laugh or cry. Books that make me laugh or cry. Oh, the 11 Thumbs series is brilliant. I think they were written by Obert Sky, I think. They are hilarious. They're books that really made me cry. Like some of them, of course, like some Harry Potter books made me cry. But I don't know if I have like a really book that I'm like, yeah, that's sad, that's gonna kill you if you read it. Oh, I'm also reading a series of unfortunate events right now, and they are pretty hilarious as well. Our world or fictional worlds? Definitely fictional worlds, because I love fantasy the most, and that's usually in a fictional world. So yes. Audiobooks, yes or no? I don't know, I almost never ever listen to an audiobook, because usually the voices really annoy me. Like I am really picky when it comes to the voice I want to listen to. Do you ever judge a book by its cover? All the time. Like literally all the time. If I think like the title is promising but the cover is disgusting, I'll still pick it up. But usually like when I'm shopping online or when I'm in a bookstore, like I grab the pretty shiny covers. It's what I do. For instance, this cover, it's pretty, like the colors and everything, but it's also kind of like a generic fantasy cover. So I could understand if you didn't pick this up, but I thought these babies there looked incredibly like Tauntaun, so I had to pick them up. But yeah, yes, I judged them incredibly by the cover. But it's not the reason I wouldn't or would buy something, it's just the reason why I would grab them and read the back cover. Book to movie or book to TV adaptation? Probably I would have said book to movie. There are a few really good ones, but most of them suck. Because I guess it's really hard. And now that, you know, we've had Game of Thrones, and I guess also kind of City of Bones and everything, the Mortal Instruments series, I guess awkward as the acting and everything in the beginning was, they did have way more space and time in the series than in the movie. So I guess probably, like, I'm not entirely sure yet because there haven't been that many TV show adaptations yet, I think. But the problem with TV shows is though that they usually end after one season. And sure, you can get movies that end after one movie. That happens a lot. Aragon, Beautiful Creatures, and a lot of other movies. But they usually do kind of like end the first movie, like there's room for another one. But yeah, I don't know. I'll have to see. I'll have to wait for more TV adaptations. They do have more space, and if they have the budget and dedication that they had with Game of Thrones, then I think TV adaptation. Movie or TV show that you prefer to the book? I think Eat, Pray, Love. I didn't prefer the movie. I saw the movie first, but I really enjoyed the movie and the book kind of like in the same amount, and that's pretty special for me. Usually I prefer the book with basically everything except for Lord of the Rings. I love the Lord of the Rings movies so much. They're my favorite movies of all time, and they will probably always be my favorite movies of all time. And I love the books as well. I'm gonna have to reread them now that I'm a bit older and my English is a bit better than when I first started reading the first book. But yeah, I love the movies, and I love all the changes that they made in the movies, and I think they're just way better. I'm so sorry talking, but yeah. Series or standalones? I prefer series. Again, like I want more of a book. I want the characters. If I love a book and I love the characters, I want to know more about them. So I love series, but sometimes it's really refreshing to read a standalone and just have the story finished and say goodbye to those characters, as hard as it is, but also not having to wait for the next book to have a completion, or you know, to wait, have to buy more books, or wait till you have the money to buy those books, or wait for them to come out. I'm looking at you, Brandon Sanderson, and especially Patrick Rothfuss, I think that's his name. Name of the Wind. Come on, I need the third book. Hurry up, please. But yeah, overall series. So that was my tag video. I hope you liked it. It didn't turn out short at all, so I could have made another video. Actually, I'm gonna make another video. So I will see you soon. Let me know what you thought of my answers, I guess. Start a conversation in the comments. I always love to hear from you, and you will see me soon. Also, I'm just tagging all of you because I'm too lazy to look up who has or hasn't done this tag because it's too old. So if you haven't done it, I hereby tag you, and let me know if you do it. So yeah, bye.